Morning everyone, we are going to do a African chicken stew using chicken thigh, and we're going to serve it with polenta, but not hard polenta like Italian polenta. We're going to make a polenta porridge. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut, I've scrubbed the sweet potato first. The recipe is in week 1, you will find the recipe. We're going to cut this into cubes. Oh, really hard to cut. And we're actually going to cook that separately. The whole thing will cook a lot quicker if we cook this in a little pot on its own with some water. Okay. Alright, now we're going to get this fennel happening. Cut off the stalks like that on the slants. Then cut it in half this way. And as you can see, inside it's got this root thing here, the stem. So what we do is we cut it like this. Going around the stem. Like that. Okay, we're just going to get our onion, just a rough dice through here like that. Nice and chunky. And our carrot. Saute the onion and the carrot together first. We won't put the fennel in now because that's softer and it'll take less time. And we're going to put the spices in now as well. And we've got some beautiful spices. We're going to put 2 teaspoons of turmeric. Beautiful colour, look at it. Teaspoons. Oh, we want garlic in there as well. 2 teaspoons of garlic, but we'll just wash that teaspoon out first. So your teaspoon, if you don't want to wash it out in between, you can just, I might put a bit more because I've got a bit more chicken. You can just wipe it out with a paper towel because you don't want to contaminate one spice with another spice. Okay, so and we want some garlic in there. Of course, in Africa you won't have it all nicely in a container for you. Okay, we might put another tablespoon of oil in, so 2 tablespoons of oil all up, because the spice takes up quite a lot of the oil. Test the sweet potatoes and with a fork. And when it's sort of like half done, turn it off. Smells fantastic. I'm going to add the fennel now. This pan might not be big enough for this whole thing. So I'm making enough for 4 here. Okay, we've got some chicken thigh here. The skin is off. Might just want to take off a little bit of this fat. And we're going to chop that up into chunks. Alrighty then, we're just going to get rid of all of that and put it into a bowl or something like that. I'm going to get a little bit more oil in the pan. We're going to saute off our chicken. Fresh pepper. Salt. And we are going to brown that off a little bit. I've got that on high. Okay. Okay, now that's browned off, we're going to add the vegetables back in there. And we've got some stock made up. We're going to add 2 cups of stock, which may not be enough liquid. We're going to add our chickpeas. I think we need a little bit more liquid. We've got our sweet potato there. We use a little bit of that sweet potato liquid as well. That's enough liquid now. And now we're going to strain off the chickpeas and put the chickpeas in. Alright, we're going to make the polenta now. This has come up to the boil and that's just going to cook through until the chicken is cooked and the veggies are cooked. Got half a cup of polenta going in there. We've got a cup of veggie stock which is made up. Just follow your instructions on the packet. And then we want 2 cups of water, 1.5 cups of water as well. You just come in and have a look at this polenta. You can see it's starting to thicken up. You do have to stir it as it's coming to the boil. And our chicken stew, we actually transferred it into a pot because it was cooking a little bit unevenly in the frying pan. So pop it in a pot after you've fried everything off. I mean, you can cook the whole thing in a pot. In Africa, they wouldn't bother about frying everything off first. They might fry the spices and then they'll just add everything else in. Look, with the polenta, you need to have it on quite a low heat because look how it's spitting and it's boiling quite quickly. So turn it right down and keep stirring it all the time as well. It's quite runny, but that needs to cook for about 15 minutes before it's really cooked. Okay. Now we're going to make up the corn flour paste for the curry. Well, it's like a curry. So just get a couple of tablespoons of, well, if you're only making it for 2, 1 tablespoon is probably going to be enough. But I'm going to put 2 tablespoons for my curry because we've got quite a bit there. So we're just going to make a paste, just a little tiny bit of water in there with the corn flour, cold water, and mix it into a paste. Okay, we're going to have a look and see whether things are cooked in here enough before we add the corn flour. So we want to test the carrot. It's good. So if the carrot's cooked, everything else is. But we do want to check the chicken. Yeah, it looks cooked. As you can see, we might just see if it's tender. Really good. So now we can add the chickpeas. This will make the chicken go a lot further, right? Because you've got all that extra protein from the chickpeas. The polenta's coming along and it's thickening up as it should. So it just needs 15 minutes to really thicken up. It's not going to, it'll still be like a kind of a porridge. If you don't want to do the polenta, just serve this with rice. If you think your family's going to hate it, which they might, then just serve it with rice. Okay, I'm turning the curry up now to full because I'm going to add the corn flour, and we want the corn flour to thicken as we are putting it in, so we know how much corn flour to add. You don't want it to be really gluggy and revolting, do you? So we're waiting for it to come back up to the boil. Just come in close on that one. Wait for it to be rapidly boiling. And now we're going to add the corn flour. See how as it's boiling, coming back up to the boil, it thickens. I'm going to add a wee bit more because so that was 2 tablespoons for 4 portions. This is good. And there we have it. That's our chicken curry. And if you come in close here, you can see that our polenta has thickened up. It's not going to be really thick, but we're going to let that cook for a little while longer. Turn off the curry because it's cooked. And that's it. All we have to do is serve it. Yep, so come in close and you'll see that we've got our beautiful chicken stew ready, and we've got our polenta has thickened up. So I'm going to serve it in a bowl with just a little bit of polenta on the side. And then we're going to get a big spoonful of the curry. If we had some coriander, it would be nice to put some coriander on top. But I think that's enough for lunch. Just a bit of that. There we are, beautiful chicken curry. Well, it's chicken stew really.